left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Wake and Jake in the morning, Wake and Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Woo! Good morning, Bakers. Happy Monday to ya, our Irish friends. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. I'm popping out the chat as we speak. Chat, what is going on? Zach, Blake, Juice, Normal Dog, Martian, I bet. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Big sports weekend. Caught a little college football. Everyone's talking about the scene in Knoxville. Maybe we'll mention that quickly. NFL Week 6, we believe. Didn't double check. Took the chance on it. I think it's Week 6. We had another London game. BBD's Giants look good. All the normal stuff, like Normal Dog. Welcome to Wake and Jake. Excited to get into it with you guys. The baseball has been caliente en los calles. The Braves, man. I've got the Jock Pearls on. I'm straight up drinking the Kool-Aid. And sports are an interesting thing in that the numbers and ratings always say that they love dynasty and power teams. LeBron, Golden State, the Patriots when they were doing it. Baseball, kind of tough, doesn't work that way. But if you talk to a sports fan, normally you're going to find out like they say they hate that. Like when Golden State's rolling, people are like, just not Golden State again. Not the Patriots again. I can't do it.
Same thing every year.
Right. Like if you talk to any sports fan at a bar or in your group chat, that's what you're going to see. A bar in your group chat. Wow, 2021. That's a little weird. Man, the Dodgers, people feel that way about the Dodgers. I mean, they only have the 2020 World Series, but because they were so good and because they're kind of the Dodgers, more people than I expect, aren't in on them. I don't know if it's just underdog stuff because they're the Dodgers. They traded for Scherzer and Turner, Mookie Betts. They're really good. But more people are against the Dodgers than I would have believed. Does that make sense?
Maybe it's just Yankee bias, in my head. I was like, well, I just know people hate the Yankees, and I guess that just happens with the Dodgers a bit anyway. It wasn't fully on my radar. People just don't like them.
Because they're the big,
even when
they're the big bad
team.
wolf. They're the big bad wolf. I guess that makes sense.
Not really liked.
So, let's put that in the American League bucket. The Houston Astros. If you're a general sports fan, you obviously can't wrap your mind around that and root for them. And that makes sense. They did cheat. Reminder. But they're doing it now. So, you've probably heard us on Talking Baseball. There's kind of a cool factor to it. If the Astros do this, they're just going straight middle birds to everyone. Yeah, we did cheat a little bit, but we won it this year. GFY. And it's damn, if they do that, that's ballsy as hell. That would suck. The Red Sox. So I guess this is the part I'm missing. I am a Yankees fan. BBD is a Yankees fan. A lot of our office is Yankees fans. Our little world, a lot of my Twitter following is Yankee fans. So they're not rooting for the Red Sox. I guess there's a lot of people probably rooting for the Red Sox, right? Because they're playing the Astros. Yeah.
And because, the Red Sox have been the super team of the century,
Mm.
but because of them just being not the Yankees and the Yankees' rival, they still kind of get treated differently nationally, I think. Like, people still kind of just like them because of the Yankees.
Right,
stuff.
the Yankees are the big bad wolf.
Outside of everything.
And there's one team that gets under the big bad wolf's skin more than anyone else, only because they've been better than them. The Boston Red Sox. So,
But I'm blanking on which. Oh, because it was Trevor May's Rose Rotation episode. He talked about he grew up a Mariners fan, but he hated the Yankees. So when the Red Sox won, like he felt good for them because they were a team that hadn't won.
right.
In like him or his parents.
Gab in the chat with a good point. I mean, Cora was, if you're into baseball, you also have him linked to the Astros and Red Sox in their own way. So that's another spin zone too.
I mean, and who knows if it's
Different.
even true, but like when the sign stealing stuff came out, everyone, at least initially, everyone was saying, well, it was Cora's idea.
Yeah.
Like, if people have him as like the ringleader of that.
He
scandal.
got.
I don't know if that's true.
He got the most finger points, but there is a lot of fingers pointing at different people. So that's the Atlanta Braves. So you've got a good baseball town. I mean, if you're into baseball and you're my age or older, you remember the '90s Braves and just a really good winning baseball team. They've kind of always been a good franchise, and let me bring up the Atlanta Braves by year.
They had a few years, was it the early 2010s, where it's like, yeah, they had a couple non-competitive years there, but for the most part, like our whole lives, they've been good.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last 4 years they finished first place. They only have one fifth place finish, so last place, since 1991. They were first place from 91 to 2005. Dude. Except for 1 year, 1994. So I'll cut off a couple years that they were in first place. From 1995 to 2005, 11 seasons, the Braves were the first place team in the NL East. Like, that's a really good franchise. They had some middler years. I guess 2006 to 2017, they only had 2 wild cards, 1 division title, and now they're back on it. And yeah, man, like, Atlanta, cool city. I've had a couple good times in Atlanta. Like, Atlanta doesn't have to be a good sports town. Like, what's the difference between Atlanta and Detroit, baseball-wise? Like, couldn't Detroit have a pretty big payroll every year? So, I don't know. That's just an interesting thing to think about. That being said, the Braves are facing the big bad wolf. They were a big underdog coming into this series. Pretty much nobody gave them a chance. They've lost their best player, Ronald Acuna Jr., who gets mentioned with Tatises, Juan Soto, Vladito, like the best young players in the game. He's out. He's been out. Ronald Acuna Jr. finished 5th on their team in WAR.
Last game was July 10th.
82 games. Half a season. They're in it. They take a 2-0 lead on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Back-to-back games in walk-off fashion. Neither of them particularly pretty, but there's a lot of people that didn't think they'd get 2 wins in this series. And they're up 2-0. Like, you stumble into a win in the next 3 games, which, by the way, Charlie Morton, Max Fried, those guys are going to pitch again.
You'll take your chances on getting 1 win.
If they win 1 of the next 3 games, they're up 3-2 with home field for the last 2 games. The Braves are pretty real right now. Very interested. I don't know what the consensus is. I don't know if the people are saying that this series... Are people saying the series is over? Like, no, right? Because it's
I think
Bueller, Urias...
bit of a just can't doubt the Dodgers situation. They're so good, but
Because what do the Dodgers have the rest of the way? It would be Buehler game 3, Urias 4, Gonsolin bullpen day, the final game. And then it would be Scherzer Buehler again?
I believe that would be the plan.
So,
And they went bullpen for all game 1.
and yeah, they were up 3-1 last year to this Dodgers team. Atlanta, everything I just said about them being a great baseball franchise, their sports luck of recent has been pretty bad. The Atlanta Falcons, 28-3, everybody knows that. What were some of the other Atlanta ones? I know the football team was just having crazy losses for a little bit. Trae Young and the Hawks haven't blown anything yet. They were kind of overachievers,
Last year
if
they
anything.
came kind of out of nowhere, but they've been bad for a while.
Yeah. Are the Thrashers still a hockey
and I think
team?
they've just never won.
I think the Georgia Bulldogs are really good this year, so that's huge. It's going to be really interesting to see. They're off today. They play the Tuesday game. And I mentioned Walker Buehler starting. Charlie Morton is starting for the Braves. I mean, man. If you watch one baseball game this postseason, or if you've got a relative that's maybe on the fence, Tuesday night, or Tuesday afternoon, we're going to be streaming it. Charlie Morton versus Walker Buehler in L.A. I think that game's going to be awesome. I think they're both going to shove. So that's really cool. Let's, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, and a lot of you do, you're sports fans. That's why you're tuning in. The Braves won Game 1 on Saturday, 3-2 final on a walk-off Austin Riley single. Would have been a double in game action, but the run scores, so nobody cares. If you have no idea, the Dodgers really didn't throw any of their guys. They traveled west to east. None of their stud starters were lined up. And Max Fried pitched for the Braves. Tied game into the 9th. Braves walk it off. We were on Talking Baseball saying, like, they probably should have won that game easier, huh? Whatever. They won a game against the Dodgers. It was home. Their one was on the mound. Don't forget that. So they get that win, and everyone's like, okay, you won a game. It almost seemed like the Dodgers didn't try. Last night, the Dodgers punched him in the mouth. 2 runs in the first. Ian Anderson, our guy, he gets hit. Max Scherzer's on the other side. Stays 2-0 into the 4th. And then Jock Peterson, man. And this is where, I don't know. I'm not saying you got to believe in something, but if you believe in sports, Jock Peterson, have you seen a player? We talk about players being themselves and being comfortable. Like, normally our example is Bryce Harper. Like, Bryce Harper is going to Bryce Harper. Whether he was on the Phillies, the Rays, Texas Rangers, Seattle Mariners, Bryce is going to Bryce. He's going to have the hair flowing. He's going to play his ass off. He's going to make you love him and hate him at the same time. Jock Peterson is wearing grandma's pearls on the baseball field. Do you know how dumb he would look if he was striking out? Like making defensive errors? Wearing pearls? He's got a blonde mohawk. Wearing pearls on a baseball field. He's got women, men, children, boys and girls in the stands wearing pearls around their neck at a baseball game. If it was in a movie, if it was in Ted Lasso, you wouldn't believe it. If Jamie Tart was wearing pearls on the soccer pitch, and then the whole stands at AFC Richmond was wearing pearls, you'd say, like, I don't know, Ted Lasso writers. It's a little ridiculous,
This
don't
one
you think?
feels like a stretch.
You're not getting us today. He is. And he looks comfortable doing it. None of it looks forced. And he, by the way, former Dodger, is a part of this team. Jock's having an incredible postseason. He homers off Scherzer to tie it at 2s. By the way, he had the outfield assist, I guess, Chris Taylor running error. So I don't know. He was a part of that. I saw a good point in the chat before because we got some Braves Nation running deep here, and they were referencing the 3-1 series loss to the Braves last year. This was from Bo Brown. BBD, can you name the 3 Braves starters who started games 3 through 5 last year for the Braves?
Ooh.
Really brutal question.
I think wasn't one of them a bullpen day that like Minter started?
So Minter started 1. That's nice. He was the one that I thought was going to be toughest to get. The other,
assuming Morton wasn't there yet?
I'll give you a
Didn't get
hint.
start?
They started all those young guys last year, so you just have to be searching for their names. One got traded to Pittsburgh, and we saw him pitch, I believe.
Yeah, I remember that
He
they
spells
traded
his
the
first
one.
name silly, kind of.
It's bullshit.
It's bull. You got Minter. That was
Yeah, Minter. I was excited.
Bryce
that I remembered.
Wilson.
Bryce Wilson.
Bryce Wilson started a game, 22 years old. And then Kyle Wright, who was another young pitcher. So, hey, Bo, thank you for that in the chat. So,
If you just showed me those 2 names and said pick which one got traded to the Pirates, I knew one of them did. Wouldn't have. Those are the same name to me.
so Atlanta is heading to L.A. Charlie Morton will pitch game 3. It looks like Huascar Ynoa will pitch game 4, which, he was fun during the regular season. We'll see if he has a moment or anything, but that's probably almost a bullpen day. And then would it be Fried game 5? Yeah. Off day? Yeah.
It's off days. They have off days this year.
And then that would allow him to be able to follow Morton game 7. So, guys, this is very real for Atlanta. This is very real for Atlanta. They've got really good energy right now. Eddie Rosario, if you guys watched us on the live stream last night, thank you to everyone that did. I'm having some Eddie Rosario fever. I said it. I went on a rant. I might have to look it up, or maybe I'll hunt your notes, BBD, from Talking Baseball. I think Eddie Rosario got non-tendered. It was one of our first off-season shows, and I was just so pissed. I was like, Eddie Rosario doesn't rack up WAR. He's not special defensively, although he made a couple nice plays last night.
He certainly passes the eye test enough. He doesn't feel incapable.
What Eddie Rosario does, and again, they don't quantify this perfectly yet, lefty or righty, he's going to give you a good at-bat. He's not a crazy on-base guy, but he swings a dangerous bat. And I think he had 3 hits yesterday. I think it was 3 for 4, including he got a single off Urias. This is the guy that, ended games last year. People are calling him, the best pitcher in baseball. Lefty on lefty.
You can't forget about this guy.
Lefty on lefty, he gets a hit off Urias. He tags up on a fly ball to left field. It wasn't crazy deep. Pollock's not a bad defender. Rosario's not a speedster. He tags up. If it was a perfect throw, I think he's out. It wasn't. It was a playoff game. Pollock was kind of off kilter a little bit. I mean, he changed the game last night. He was hitting leadoff. And a reminder, what was Eddie Rosario traded for at the deadline? Pablo Sandoval. Salary dump. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I hesitate to even say that. I mean, that's the one people should be giving us the most shit on. When that happened on deadline day, like all for like both teams were just doing a trade to do a trade.
So,
Please don't. But
yeah, I mean the Sandoval part of that sucks because it should be a prospect. And by the way, Pablo Sandoval would be on this bench right now. Although he was immediately released, so I guess the Braves could have signed him back. So maybe he wouldn't be. But Eddie Rosario, man, go look at his stat page. He's never been an on-base guy. But his OPS has always been really good because he whacks the ball.
He punishes baseballs.
And when he was doing that on some pretty good Minnesota Twins teams, he was in the middle of that lineup. It's not like Eddie Rosario was batting 7th and having some nice years.
He wasn't like sneaking up on opposing pitchers.
You had to game plan around Eddie Rosario. He was hitting like 3rd. He was hitting 4th. He was the heart of a lot of those teams. And that matters. And again, I think there's still stats people that would tell you there's not a difference between having an 800 OPS batting 3rd and having an 800 OPS batting 7th. There's a big one. Eddie,
by a wide margin, Eddie Rosario's most plate appearances have come from the cleanup spot.
Like
in his career.
It's I guess there was this massive OBP generation in baseball, which understandably so. Like it was completely undervalued. Batting average was overvalued. Now that OPS is picking up, like I'm sorry Eddie Rosario has a career 309 OBP. That's not great. It's not. But he's got a really good OPS. I think career it's 782. He has 1, 2, 3, 4. Up until this year, he had 4 straight seasons with a positive OPS plus. 27 to 2020, his OPS was an 810. Like, go look at where that stands with other players. Eddie Rosario is a good ball player. Makes the plays he needs to in the outfield. It's not a mess out there. And by the way, Jorge Soler hasn't been in this series yet. We'll see if he comes back. Another guy that the Braves trade for. Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario, Adam Duvall, Jorge Soler. Those are 4 guys. Those are 4 MLB guys the Braves traded for that... What did they give up? Anything? Any other major leaguers? Potentially?
I think, like, for Duvall, they gave their backup catcher. I believe he was for Alex Jackson.
Yep.
Jock, who'd they trade? Bryce Ball. Who?
That was the Double-A first baseman, or maybe High-A even, who hit like 200 but good power.
Yeah,
remember looking into that.
Got the power tool. Still very young, but same birthday as me.
How about that? Happy birthday, Bryce Ball and BBD when it happens.
Which is old for the level he's at, I believe.
Right. Same exact birthday?
He's 1 year younger.
Okay.
1 year younger. But I believe that is old.
I was going to say, that
is old for High A.
I'm not giving up on your High A hopes, BBD. You're not going to get rid of me that
late
easily.
Bloomer.
So I don't know. I am clearly drinking the Braves Kool-Aid. I know Dodger fans were mad at Dave Roberts last night over some of the bullpen usage. I think pulling Brewstar early and Urias getting in there. I mean, hey, man, Dave Roberts put Urias in with a 2-run lead. That, did Normal Dog just get you?
Yeah.
No, BBD. BBD just got tripped up by Normal Dog in the chat saying, haha, balls. Which I get. I've been there.
It's the concept of the joke.
I've been on both sides of that. Good for the Braves. If you're the Dodgers, you're leaning into home field. You're going to LA. Although, I think my guess is if you talk to a lot of baseball people today, and I don't know what they're saying on MLB Network, I would guess a lot of people are saying this series isn't over because of what I said. The Dodgers, 5 games left. Buehler, Urias, Scherzer, Buehler are pitching 4 of those games. So that means it's not over. And you're saying home field, bring it back to LA. Let's win our home games and we can get 3 wins here. They very well can. I think it's going to be really good baseball. Dude, tomorrow's game scares me for them. 2 p.m. California time. A 2 p.m. LA game. I don't know. If that was your team, wouldn't you be a little what the hell? Not a Saturday either.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday. Tuesday at 2? Sounds cool. There used to be a sandwich place in our hometown that would do 2 for Tuesdays. 2 sandwiches for the price of 1. It's pretty sweet.
And again, for several years, the Astros have complained about getting given the early games. So now that they have the Red Sox and it is a good matchup, I understand them trying to give them a little attaboy late night.
Yeah.
But
attaboy.
You're on West Coast stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know, and Blake says he's going to check that because it sounds so ridiculous. It genuinely does. We checked this the other day. Hopefully, okay, Blake just looked it up and said, okay, that's absolutely stupid. And hey, the Braves kind of have a conversation too. They're playing, or no, that's 5 p.m. Eastern. I was doing the reverse when a West Coast team plays on the East Coast, and they're it's 9 a.m. That doesn't apply to the Braves. But yeah, hey, are Shadows going to be involved in that game? I feel like that happens a lot. And so if the Braves are up 1-0 and Charlie Morton's throwing gross sliders, Braves have a legit chance to go up 3-0 in this series? And I don't know. The Dodgers are crazy talented. I've called them a super team multiple times, and that's not unfair, man. They traded for arguably 2 top 10 players. If someone told you Scherzer and Trey Turner are top 10 players, you kind of don't have an argument against it.
You wouldn't think they're nuts for saying both of them are in there.
And they traded for Mookie Betts that, until Shohei took off this season, was considered the second best player in baseball. And those guys were added to a team that was going to the World Series and already the NL favorites. So, they are a super team. So, I don't know. I could see them easily. They can come back in this series. I think they've got a chance if they go down 3-0 to come back in the series. Which, boy, would that be fun for baseball? I saw all the Kevin Millar stuff going around the other day. It was the 17-year anniversary or something. You just got to win one. But the Braves, man, I think they're America's team right now.
That's the argument for making it the earlier game. They have the off day to travel before, so they're not doing day game after night game stuff, which they would kind of be making the Astros and Red Sox do because they play tonight. And then they get a full 24 hours until the next game after.
I guess so.
That's probably what they'd cite as the reason they're going to be early.
My Braves fans that have been welcoming me on the bandwagon, I think Luke Walker in the chat just said, that would not be fun, Jake, if the Dodgers come back from 3-0 or even 2-0. What are the DraftKings odds? Very interested. It's got to have the Braves as pretty heavy favorites to win the series.
They have to win 2 of the next...
2 of the next 5?
5.
Math company? Yeah. We're all over that, by the way.
That
baseball.
Can't be what it is.
BBD, I might have to have you get it. I'm clicking pretty poorly.
Yeah, I'll go find it.
Red Sox to hit 2+ home runs today.
More
boosted. Speaking of
stuff.
DraftKings, before we get into the football, we touch on Houston and Boston a little bit before they kick off tonight. Another NFL season means another shot to win big at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $1 on any NFL game, and you win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. So they're giving you $100. You just have to bet on a football game. If Sportsbook isn't in your state yet, which it will be, by the way, at some point, they still have their daily fantasy sports, huge cash prizes, free shot at millions of dollars. You got the number on the series, BBD?
I do.
What do you got?
The Braves are now favored. They're -190, so fairly heavy favorites. Dodgers +160.
+160, okay.
Not a crazy payout, but and Astros and Red Sox are about even.
Really?
Astros favored.
They really are. Really?
But Red Sox are even money as well.
Tonight is the big one. Well, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOHNBOY. Throw down $1 on any NFL game and win $100 in free bets. If either team scores a point, that's promo code JOHNBOY this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Boston and Houston quick. They play game 3 tonight. They split the double grand slam game by Boston. Pretty cool. Evaldi started that game. That was a game Boston was kind of supposed to win this series. And they do. In convincing fashion, not a lot of high leverage pitches. We'll see if all that comes to matter. Houston is kind of down bad with their pitching. No McCullers. Luis Garcia, who's super talented. Have we got an update on him?
I haven't seen anything.
Luis Garcia.
Even beyond them, they have a bunch of guys who, at the beginning of the season, the game planned on being part of their playoff rotation, and they've been not. Greinke and Odo. They've just been kind of like on and off injuries, all that.
Yeah, and I mean,
I don't fully know the Greinke deal, but I know he's not been like starting. So,
and man, a lot of Red Sox fans, and you can be honest about it. Some people were calling funny business with the Garcia injury. His velo was down. He was having a bad time out there. So who really knows? I mean, he could be out. Interested to see what happens. I mean, tonight's game, and not to flex on everyone, I was texting with Jeff Passan yesterday. It's not a big deal. Just a friend. I asked him, I was like, what do you think about Boston, Houston? And he said, put this on Wake and Jake. He said he thinks winner of tonight's game. And that's not a crazy statement. I mean, game 3.
Team that goes up 2-1.
2-1. They're going to have a little bit of a leg up. It's Erod. Who's pitching for Houston? Erod. Erod versus Urquidy. Let's get some Urquidy stats. Erod has 2 starts this playoff. One was good, one was bad. Both of these teams are just offensive forces. Is Urquidy stretched out? I think he is, right? Postseason game log for Jose Urquidy. We're in the weeds, people. Let's see. He hasn't pitched this postseason. Interesting. His last outing was 40. Or I'm in his postseason game log now, so just punch me in the face.
He has only broken 100 pitches twice all year, and one of them was April. Hasn't broken 100 pitches since June 11th.
And, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Astros need 80 pitches.
They need somebody
from
to
anyone.
give them a 5-inning appearance, which he has done.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they play in the AL, so they don't have to worry about pinch hitting stuff, too. They can let him go as long as they need him.
So it's Urquidy versus Erod tonight. We will be streaming this game with Kelsey Wingert. We'll be up here. That's going to be a ton of fun. Astros winning formula is probably Urquidy to Javier to Graveman to Presley. That's not a bad formula. Maybe Greinke gets in the mix. Who knows what they're doing with him? He might start game 4 for them, but he's only stretched out to like 40 pitches. I think tomorrow's Boston-Houston game is going to be messy. Pavetta's supposed to get the start. I could see him getting involved today. Sale only threw so many pitches. Boston, man, their flexibility with their pitching is really fun. So, yeah, interested to see out of Erod and Urquidy, who gets more leash, who survives, who looks good. Boston's formula tonight would probably be Erod. I'm assuming they want to save Pivetta. So, Erod, Brazier, Whitlock, Robles, Ottavino, Taylor, lefty-righty. They both have it. Off day tomorrow, so the bullpens are rested. I'm really interested. Man, Cora has that, like, everyone's ready to go mentality. If they need Pivetta tonight, I think they might go to him. I guess Houck's available too. So I don't know. That's where the Red Sox are fun. That's where the Red Sox are really fun. Could Tanner Houck throw 50 pitches in this game? I think he could. Could Pivetta? I think he could. Could Sale? Maybe. And that's kind of what the Red Sox have going for them. They've got some flexibility. So that game's going to be fun tonight. Again, we'll be streaming that.
Houck looks like Friday, so he didn't pitch in the Saturday game. He only threw 18 pitches Friday. He should be good to go as long as they want him.
He could be a weapon for them today. I mean, if Erod goes 4, it could be Houck for 3. And then you're to your high leverage guys. Boston has flexibility. I think that's kind of their best thing going right now.
A bunch of dudes who are kind of good to go for whatever on the pitching end, which is, I think, the harder flexibility to find.
And you find the guy that's having a good day. That's why he pulled the plug on Hawk last outing. He gave up the home run to Altuve, and they just said, pull him. Let's save those pitches. It's not your day today.
See if he's sharp in 3 days and can give us 3 innings.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. And by the way, both these teams are hitting out of their domes. The pitchers aren't too scary, and we're playing in Fenway Park. So buckle up for tonight.
Whitlock might only be available for 1.
Whitlock, my guy. Yankees specialist, Garrett Whitlock. Let's do some baseball, BBD. We just did some baseball. Let's do some football. College, tuned into the Tennessee kind of fiasco the other night. Might see some of that on Weekly Dumb ad. Yeah, I mean, bad. Don't throw stuff on the field ever. I know that's kind of what everyone's saying, but that part's true. Was just a ridiculous scene. The fact they almost came back and won would have made it a good memory for them, which is a good thing it didn't. Number 2, Iowa lost. Iowa people are sad, I guess. Cincinnati's really good, so that's cool for like a school that doesn't have that.
Particularly in that sport.
Ian Happ, Cincinnati guy. He's got to be excited. We'll ask him about that. I don't know. Anything else you guys really need to know from college football? LSU and Florida played a wild game. I got to watch some of that. Georgia's number 1, and they're good. So that's cool. Boomer Sooner. Yeah, all right, over the college football. Let's talk about the pro stuff. Been pretty dialed into pro football. Between this and, like, I've been actually keeping pace in my fantasy leagues this year. I kind of have an idea of the picture going on. We are Crown Pond BBD. So Thursday night, Bucks-Eagles played. Again, thought this was going to be a rout. Eagles and Jalen Hurts, this is kind of his thing, I guess, makes it closer than you think.
Stuck in at the end.
Yeah, that's what
made it interesting.
They just sneak in one score that I think matters to a lot of people in Vegas. Bucks are now 5-1. Eagles 2-4, and they trade Zach Ertz after the game, which had everyone saying like, "Well, can he play 2 games this week?" He can't. Rules are rules. But he's been an Eagle for a while. He's really loved there. Married to Julie Ertz, soccer player, well liked.
Got a lot of Eagles fan friends who are like, they're sad.
You're right. Like
he's been part of the team for a while. Like, this isn't how it's supposed to end.
Tight ends are always more endearing because they block, they catch, they're big, they're fun.
Do a little everything.
And yeah, he was part of the Super Bowl team. He's, football moves quick. So sorry,
Get a guy to stick around, not whether by his choice or the team's choice. Just to have a guy that long is kind of rare.
And he's going to the Cardinals, who are undefeated, by the way. So that's fun, and their offense is nasty. So that's cool. Cool for everyone involved, minus Eagles fans who lose. Sunday, this will be the only part that's not a cron pod. I got to laughed, and it's a little jump to the comments of the day. I missed the Broncos game. We previewed every game except the Broncos game because I go on the ESPN page, and it has your favorite teams at the top, so it wasn't in chronological order. My Broncos lose. Raiders, 4-2. No more Gruden. They kind of sent a message that game. They opened up with a long, deep pass, and they beat the Broncos in Denver that, you guys have heard me be tough and high on Teddy Bridgewater. That's a really good win for the Raiders. That's a win that the Raiders don't normally. It would have been very easy for these Raiders losing their coach to drop to 3-3 and lose on the road to the Broncos.
That game on the road. And early the Broncos offense was clicking. So
yeah,
their first opening drive touchdown in 2 years.
It's an awful
20 games
stat.
or something.
It was 20-something games since the Broncos scored on their opening drive. So not good. Noah Fant had a big game. I think he's nasty, by the way. If you're speaking of tight ends. Let's go back to the Cron Pod. Jaguars, Dolphins. The Battle of Florida in London. We talked about this a little bit. Trevor Lawrence, you want to root for him. Urban Meyer, you kind of don't. The Dolphins are a mess right now. This game, kind of all added up to that. 2020 down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So, hey, London got a quote-unquote good game. Jaguars win 2 50-plus yard field goals in the final 4 minutes. I think it's the first time in NFL history that's happened, if you butter knife it that way. 50-plus yards, 4 minutes. And they were their first 2 field goals this year, I believe. That was the crazy stat coming into this game that Jacksonville hadn't.
Looks like they got at least one.
They had one earlier in this game, but they hadn't had any field goals
coming into the game. Week
6 football. Not sure how that happens. Urban Meyer.
We know they're getting a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happens. They had I was listening to someone explain their kicker this season got hurt because they had a kicker that people would know from NFL circles. He got hurt.
Rosas was there,
and then someone will have it. Either way, Jaguars win. So yeah, I mentioned this before last episode. It could be your fun bar trivia. Trevor Lawrence still doesn't have a win in the States. Neither does Urban Meyer. Both those teams will go on a bye. Dolphins suck. 1-5. Everyone was really liking their coach. He's got to be on the hot seat now. Tua's future is on the hot seat.
Their defense was supposed to be.
Josh Lambo was the Jaguars kicker. Thank you, Al. Yeah, the Dolphins were supposed to be pesky.
Yeah.
Pesky. And if Tua was good, you could be could they be a wild card team?
I
don't know. People are starting to come around to my Tua take.
I don't want to discuss it further than just saying this, but did you hear Urban Meyer's like victory speech in the locker room. It's just, yeah.
He's bad. He's kind of the worst.
I don't know how if or how any of them would be like buying into it.
Right.
Like, thankful for the gifts God gave you. Whatever.
Yeah.
Man, I don't think you care about God at all.
Yeah, the big man upstairs can be easy to hide behind. Anyways,
Packers won.
Packers beat the Bears. Aaron Rodgers with the quote mid-game, "I still own you," or I own this city.
I think, yeah, something like
I
that.
still own
cool.
you guys. Yeah, it was kind of like, wow, the Bears cannot win this game. It's kind of a close 24-14 is your final. Rodgers, I think the kind of point is for him, it's like this shit's easy.
Yeah. I'll just keep you at arm's length, break your heart.
Sunday in Chicago versus a rookie QB. Yeah, that's easy for him. Packers are 5-1. Bengals go to 4-2. The Joe Burrow show. That offense continues to be fun. Jamar Chase, he doesn't score. He has a couple big catches and things that matter but don't matter but do matter. There was a cool play where Joe Mixon, the running back, is running for maybe a touchdown. There's one defender out there. Jamar Chase, the wide receiver, basically runs past him, makes the block, and it was like a nice wide receiver block. And that's one of those things you're like, oh.
He does that?
You care about that. Like, we there was a generation of wide receivers that would have looked for the lateral there, and Jamar Chase went up and made the block. So I don't know. I don't know what it matters. I don't know if the Bengals are looking at a wild card. I mean, 4-2 is a good place to be sitting. They did beat the 0-6 Lions, who.
And before the series, we thought there's a chance it could be a little bit of a trap. The Bengals riding maybe higher than they should. Lions at home really needing a win. They've had some close calls. I mean, all 11 points they scored were at the end when the game was completely out of the question. So.
I think this is the first week we saw football teams kind of quit. I think the Lions, man, it's
they
tough.
get the football quadrants of this season thing. Maybe it's 5 weeks now is how long you get.
I'll say this. I mean, I think the Lions this week started the conversation of can they go winless, which that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign for your football team. Good for the Bengals. They're fun. Jamar Chase is really good. We are Jamar Chase stans. Let's see. Let's burn through the rest. Colts beat the Texans. That's an ugly game. Jonathan Taylor, really good. Wisco. Texans also really bad. They're 1-5 now.
Nice day for Brandon Cooks.
Good. T.Y. Hilton's back. Maybe that changes things for the Colts. Rams blow out the Giants. Speaking of teams quitting, I mentioned this to BBD. There's a Cooper Kupp touchdown pass that it looked like the Giants quit. And that was kind of the thing with Joe Judge. At least they believe in him. There's a lot of injuries. Daniel Jones, yada, yada, yada. This was the, for me, and we'll see. Maybe the Giants will surprise us because there were a lot of injuries and stuff, but I think this was like it for Judge and them. Any thoughts on your Giants, BBD?
I mean, all the quotes after the game were not good. The Judge is getting ripped for being like Aaron Boone.
Some booing
which,
quotes.
Really doesn't work for football.
Yeah.
And there's some booing quotes from Leonard Williams. I'm really hoping the question was just asked poorly. I mean, the guy's not gonna say he likes the booing,
right?
But
right.
If he was asked about it,
I love the boos. Yeah, go check out Talking Giants. I guess I feel bad for them. They're killing it content-wise. If this Giants team was like even 2-4,
as is their numbers are like
good. If this Giants team was 2-4, I think that would even help them. But go check them out. They do incredible stuff. Chiefs Washington football team. Maybe circle this one. The Chiefs were sleepwalking again. They were down to the football team. They turned it on. The offense started going. Mahomes finishes with 397, 2 touchdowns in a first half where he just kind of looked bad.
Yeah, it looks like he had two picks in the first.
And I know it's Washington football team, but the Chiefs' defense did shut them out for the second half, so that could be significant. Chiefs go to 3-3. Football team is 2-4. See if the Chiefs start rolling. Let's check out their schedule quickly. Chiefs have the Titans. Man, tough back-to-back for the Titans. Bills, Chiefs. It's in Tennessee, so that's not an easy game. Then the Giants, then the Packers. So that's man, Raiders, Cowboys. So Chiefs got a little stretch coming up. They're not out of the woods yet. Interested to see if they actually figured it out, or
gotta get a couple of those,
or if they beat a Washington football team that's not that good.
They find a way to be good enough to be in the playoffs, then I don't think they care.
Still not actually worried, but
they're over the seeding game, I think.
Yeah, just start winning football games. Vikings go to 3-3 against the Panthers. Panthers fought back in this game to tie it up, to take it to OT.
Last drive was nuts.
Yeah, it was. This game was fun. This was the kind of the only crazy game from the early slate. The red zone guy was freaking out. He's like, there's no games within 2 touchdowns except this. Vikings fans, I guess here's your good news. Your season's going to be insane. All of their games have been absolute chaos. Dalvin Cook's back with a big game. Kirky's stats look good. He's got so many like game-winning drives. So that's something. Vikings, your season's going to be wild. Bobby and BBD's Panthers, back to 3-3. They've got like 2 that they got to be kicking themselves for now. Hey, good for Sam Darnold. I almost put out a tweet like, dude, he is bad. He had like a really bad first 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, there's a lot of drops.
Yeah.
Which weren't helping him, but he wasn't looking good.
Which, call me crazy, call me maybe. You got to start wondering, is that like a Darnold thing?
Yeah.
Which is so unfair. But
And
the
one- and one
Jets
of
dropped
them-
so many balls. The Panthers have been dropping so many balls. I mean,
It's a Robbie Anderson thing.
yeah, I won't
I
put that
can't
on Darnold. That's just really unfair. Really unfair.
Sucks. It sucks.
Ravens, 5-1. We've been a Lamar Jackson pod. We've been trying to tell you guys. They dominate the Chargers, who some people were asking, are they the best team in the AFC? 34-6. Sorry I called Scott Hansen the red zone guy. That's on me. Scott Hansen's a great American.
Love Scott.
Say that. Ravens drop it on him. Lamar nasty. Ravens nasty.
Chargers have been having a nice year up until then.
Everyone was on the Herbert train. Mark Andrews is somehow always open for them. Cardinals, Browns. We thought this might be a big one for the Brownies. Instead, Cardinals roll on them 37-14. Baker got benched for a little bit. Case Keenum came in the game. We'll see how that situation develops. Cardinals are nasty. They deserve more and more love. I think they're the only undefeated team. 6-0.
I mean, their first 4 weeks weren't the most impressive schedule, but now they've gotten like back-to-back wins at the start of the stretch that people were like, kind of need to get these.
I mean, Texans next week. I think we did this last episode.
Yeah.
Then Packers, Niners. So, but if they clear that, the schedule gets easy again. Go Cardinals, go. I love Kyler Murray. Awesome to watch. Cowboys, Patriots. This was a crazy game, crazy finish. We were tweeting about it, the John Boy media accounts. Cowboys miss a field goal to go up. Patriots can milk out most of the clock. Mac Jones, pick 6. Cowboys go up. Patriots, next play, deep ball, touchdown. Patriots go back up. This game goes to overtime. Cowboys win in OT. They are now 5-1. This was a big test for the Cowboys. Their season is now fully out of the box. This was big for both teams. We talked about this on the preview ep last week. Patriots could be 3-3 with a nice win over the Cowboys. Cowboys would have been back to 4-2, which is
They
good.
They wouldn't
but
have been dead. There's nothing wrong with losing to Belichick on the
no,
road.
but it just would have been like, okay, yeah, the Cowboys are back to earth a little bit.
Slop, but now
They're going, man. 5-1. Good for the Cowboys. Very talented, very fun. And then the final game, Steelers, Seahawks. Steelers win 23-20. This was kind of a poop game. Big Ben looking old at moments. Geno Smith in the Seahawks.
come back.
Yeah, they rally a little bit after being down 14-0. Steelers get the win. They're 3-3. Everyone wants the Steelers dead. And they look it at times. I get it, but they're the Steelers.
Ends justify the means.
Steelers, like, this season feels like they're going to find a way. If they can keep Big Ben upright enough. When's their bye week? Big Ben needs that. Is it this week? That would be hilarious. The Steelers' bye week is this week. Big Ben needs that.
Bills, Cowboys, Vikings, Steelers, Chargers, Jags on bye.
How about that? So, yeah, that's kind of huge. I think they need it. They've got the Browns, Bears, and Lions coming up. That feels like a 2-1 record. 5-4 Steelers. So, we'll see. That is the football slate. What time is it, people? 11:23. We got to start tidying up a little bit. Talking baseball coming up soon. Let's talk about the comments of the day. Bakers. My Bakers. You guys are the best, man. You really are. I ask you guys to bake the algorithm. Leave a comment. Leave a review. Subscribe. We got a lot of people here live right now. Probably because baseball's hot in the streets. Last episode. Good numbers, people. Whoops. Sorry about it. Last episode was about the Astros and Red Sox in the ALCS and a lot of other things. We were previewing the NFL weekend. Oh yeah, and it was happy hour. It was the happy hour episode. We did it Wednesday night to try to change our schedule. Fayal, who's always here, our guy, our king. Low-key nice thing about this episode in the evening is that it wasn't restricted with end time and constraints. As I say, we have to run to Talking Baseball in a minute. Wake and Jake has been getting a tad squeezed because of playoff time, which is understandable. But this one was breezy. It was breezy. I was almost a little worried last episode. I feel like it was stoner Jake. I was kind of chilling and talking like this. I didn't talk like that at all. Brian Feingold said Brewers need an impact bat in their lineup. Yanks are looking to trade away Voit. Would that be a good match for the Brew Crew, especially with the impending DH in the NL? I'll listen. I'll tell you what, Milwaukee would love that guy.
They'd love him.
Doing the beer can celebration? Yeah.
You won't. I think he'd be comfortable in the NL. They do subbing out, and they've been keeping extra first baseman anyway.
Luke Voit for a reliever? I'll talk about it. Interesting. Thank you, Brian.
Matchup I've heard.
I'll reach out to my people. I'll reach out to my people in Milwaukee. See what we can do. Let's see. Jake. Oh yeah, Bruce Lambert called me out. Totally skipped Broncos Raiders. Yeah, and being a Broncos fan, that's tough. It's not my best move. Kendall in the chat just discovered this channel and I love it. Let's go! So thank you, Bakers. Continue to bake the algorithm. Like, share. We pitched a perfect game last episode. 114 likes, 0 thumbs down. Whoops. And good numbers. So thank you guys. A lot of fun. That was the happy hour episode, BBD. Forgot about that. We'll finish up with Bro of the Night. We'll do them kind of quick. I've been copping out lately. We've had a lot going on. I'll go Eddie Rosario. I gave my whole speech about him.
Did it basically.
You can listen to that. He is underrated. That dude. It goes back to my theory of if I'm the other team, do I want to see Eddie Rosario up or blank up? Eddie Rosario is going to be oddly high, especially going back to those Minnesota Twins teams. Let me go back there quick. So let's go. The Twins were a powerhouse. What was their best full season? 2019?
Season, that's when they broke the home run record.
2019 season was the year they broke the home run record. Okay, so let's go to the 2019 Minnesota Twins. That's what everyone wants. Mitch Garver, who had a really good year, would rather see him than Eddie Rosario. C.J. Cron, Jonathan Scope, Jorge Polanco. Polanco probably has a conversation. He was good that year, and he had a nice bounce-back year. I'd rather see him up than Eddie Rosario. Miguel Sano.
On that team.
Miguel Sano, who had a monster year that year. 34 home runs, 923 OPS. I would rather see Sano up than Rosario.
Yeah, it's close.
You can get Sano out. You can get Rosario
trust your
too.
ability to miss Sano's bat.
Buxton, there's probably a good conversation for a healthy Buxton that you'd rather see Rosario. Yeah, because Buxton can run too.
Yeah, if Buxton just hits the ball in play, you don't want that.
Max Kepler, Rosario? I'd probably rather see Kepler up than Rosario. I know the numbers.
It's about even, I'd say, vibes-wise.
Vibes check. Nelson Cruz that year, he probably wins out. He's toughest. But still, that's so Eddie Rosario's the third least guy you'd rather see up on a team that broke the home run record. I don't know. Just a different way to look at things. You got a bro of the night, BBD?
Yeah, I'm tossing a bruh to the grocery store near my apartment. I went there last Thursday. We had the kind of off day.
Yeah.
So I went and got a couple snacks for the apartment and some fruit.
Wow.
Went to go pick up some clementines. I was picking between two labels. One of them was labeled Easy Peel. I was like, oh, I guess that'll be the tiebreaker here. And, I've never really struggled with peeling the clementines before. I like to think I'm pretty good at it. Man, I have never had a more consistently difficult time. On the one labeled Easy Peel.
Yeah.
And last night I got home and I was like, man, I kind of had two dinners, and one of them was McDonald's, and I felt really bad about myself. I was like, let's have a clementine before bed. I mean, I cut my finger so bad on a clementine, just fingers.
Damn.
It still actively hurts now. I'm driving myself crazy. It's like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm leaving a knife out now I'm going to start my clementines that way. I still have a whole bag. I'm going to eat them. I like clementines.
That's brutal, man.
It's been killing me. You were labeled Easy Peel. And I haven't...
Damn.
I don't have a long history of struggling.
Yeah, fail with a good point. Maybe the sticker was just Easy Peel.
I mean, maybe. I think I was pretty sure it was on the bag.
That's tough.
I was pretty sure it was on the bag of them. But
that's brutal, man.
But if it's the sticker, that is funny.
Grocery shopping in New York City is tough. I'll admit that.
On the walk in yesterday, I saw a place. I was like, all right, if I make another clementine run, I'm gonna try that place instead.
Clementine run. I'm sorry that happened. Dude.
Yeah, but the popcorn I got there was pretty good, so I might go back.
And one. All right, guys, we need to wrap it up. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you. We had a bunch of people in here, new friends, old friends. Go check out everything on the John Boy Media Network. We got Talking Baseball coming up in a minute. Rose Rotation new up today.
I don't know if it's new, but all the previews and stuff still.
Yeah, they got Winker. I was
cool
listening to that.
Outside of that,
JJTV, we're playing, we're gaming, talking Nets, talking Giants, talking about that.
Knicks coming later today.
TK, talking Knicks coming out later today. Everything across the John Boy Media Network. There's content. I promise you that. Farm to Fame. Kelsey Winger coming tonight. We're streaming. Let's go!
Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.